Welcome back to the Darkstream. We are here on YouTube. I tried the dual stream, and it worked a little while, but then it worked a little while on DLive. Didn't work at all um, on YouTube, and so now it flipped over, and so I don't know whether, before you're blaming DLive, remember I wasn't directly streaming to DLive. I was streaming through Restream, and so it's entirely possible that the problem was there. So what we're talking about is we're talking about the ongoing hunting of the big bear, which is a campaign that's been launched by some of the usual suspects, People for the American Way, Right Wing Watch, etc., etc. And, there's clearly a campaign here, which is actually a very good sign because that's something that we can do something about. For example, if you get kicked off Twitter, there's really nothing you can do. And so, in itself, because Twitter's worthless, there's nothing that you can't complain about having been harmed by being kicked off Twitter because you don't pay for Twitter, you don't earn any money on Twitter. It's totally worthless. However, once it becomes an ongoing campaign like this by an identifiable group of people who have actually confessed to doing it, then you've got something. Now, that doesn't mean Odd Rob has the right question. Is it time to hit back? Well, we're already hitting back. Owen's already hitting back. The Patreon is already well underway. And there are other, and some of you bears already know exactly what's going on because you're involved. And that's why I've been telling everybody, and Big Bear's been telling everybody, you need to get on as channel members, as unauthorized subscribers, support the replatforming on Patreon, because that's where the ammunition comes from. That's where you provide the leverage to address with them. Yeah, Bearism says, did he have a financial relationship with Instagram followers? No. And that's why, that's part of the problem. That's why it's more difficult to do anything about that, or it would have been, except for the fact that we now have evidence and an open confession of an ongoing campaign. And so, this is not a battle. This is not a one-off thing. They want it to be. They want it to be. They want to be able to deplatform people and have them disappear and go away, and then they can move on to the next one. That's not happening to the big bear. That's not happening here. The smarter SJWs, people like Amazon, Amazon deplatformed the Castalia House for 18 hours. As soon as it got up to the more intelligent people, the smarter lawyers, they promptly overturned what the SJWs have done and just said, do your thing, Deleted all. Guys, this isn't that difficult. We're used to this, so shut up about it. All you do is fill up the chat unnecessarily with information that nobody needs and nobody cares about. Just refresh and He says, in all fairness, you were actually, we know it's not all fairness. We know this happens. This happens every single night. So shut the hell up. It's not that difficult. Stop reacting to every little thing. Stop crying about every little thing. Owen's not crying about getting deplatformed from Instagram. I'm not fussed about the fact that the dual streaming experiment didn't work, okay? We don't worry about those things. What is the mantra? Conflict is the air we breathe. It's the water in which we swim, okay? This is normal for us. This is what we have to put up with. And it's okay. It's more than okay. It's fine. And so, the important thing is to stay focused. Stay focused. We keep winning. We keep crushing. They take a shot, and every time they take a shot at us, they create an opening for us to exploit and hit back every single time. Now, let me show you why you shouldn't be spiraling and getting depressed, okay? Some of you know we've been working on this. It's very, very raw, but it is functional. I won't say fully functional, but it is very functional. And so the first 212 of you, which is all of the unauthorized annual members, are going to get an invitation here next week. Now, you can probably guess what this is. This is Social Galactic 2.0, and it is going to be, the Big Bear has already been given access, and so this is going to replace his Instagram for the time being. There have been about 12 intrepid Dread Ilk who have been testing this for a couple weeks. And as you can see the post that I made today. The Big Bear was deplatformed by Instagram today. Beware a serious influx of bears in the coming week. And so what we're doing, you can actually see what one of the admins says. We're going to be moving servers this weekend to a new, bigger, bolder one. We have it on a test server right now. This is very, very simple. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be flashy, but you are going to have the ability to post images. You are going to be, it already works. You can post images. You can post links. There's, retweets, quotes, likes, trends, all this sort of stuff. And so we're not taking this lying down. We're not just sitting around going, oh no, Owen's off of Instagram. What do we do? And there are perks and there are levels. At the free level, you can't post links, and you can't post images, and you have to choose from an existing set of avatars. This is because we don't want to permit the trolls to come in and infest the place like happened on Gab. So we have currently 4 levels, not including admins and moderators. There's bronze, silver, gold, and for lack of a better term, what's called currently Paragon. I have no idea why I happened to chose that. I think it sounds stupid. We'll figure something else later. But and what we're going to do, I think this is something that you are all going to enjoy. And if you approve of this, I'm going to ask you to raise the black flag, if you're a member. All unauthorized subscribers are going to receive a bronze level, a free bronze level subscription, which means that you get a longer posting limit, you get a certain amount of image storage space, and you have the ability to do links. All of the premium and annual members are going to get the silver membership, which has more more storage space, a longer gold here. That is a gold member, and then the black arrow, the black lightning bolt is an admin, and so you're going to be able to distinguish who's unauthorized subscribers, et cetera, et cetera. And so, and the first 212 people that are going to be invited, they're all going to be the annual subscribers to unauthorized, and they're all going to get their free silver membership, which is going to be, and all of these social galactic memberships, whether you get a free silver one or a free bronze one, they're going to be good as long as you have an unauthorized subscription. So we want Social Galactic to begin as a place for all the unauthorized subscribers to interact and to follow Big Bear, etc., etc. It's going to take a little time, of course. One of the first things Big Bear wanted is he wants a iOS app version of it, because what he really wants to do is just post pictures from his phone. And we will arrange that. Will there be a character limit for the free version? Of course. The free level has the same Twitter limit, or has the same limit as basic Twitter, more or less. And so this is why we don't spiral. This is why we don't get upset about this stuff. And there's a lot more of this coming in 2020. A lot more. I'm not going to talk about anything else. I'm not going to give anybody any clues about what we're doing on these technology fronts. But this is going to be clean speech. This is not a free speech zone. If you want to, post porn images and swear at people, that's what Twitter and Gab are for. This is for actual regular interaction. We'll probably get some Social Galactic stuff out with crypto.fashion. And so, and to be blunt, this is a little bit sooner than we intended to launch it. But the same with unauthorized. We were not planning to launch unauthorized when we did, but Owen got demonetized by Google. So he called me up and said, "Hey, let's launch it today." And I said, "We're not ready." He said, "Well, we need to do something." So I said, "Okay, fine." And I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Feed the Bear subscription, which has been massively successful, was something that I just threw on Instagram. There's going to be subscriptions that people can sign up for directly as well. And so, what about Castelia Deluxe members? I haven't decided yet. I think we're probably going to do something. In fact, I think that we already have plans to do that. But let us get through the thousands of unauthorized people first. And so, Karen took the kid, said, "I hope your first order of business for Social Galactic 2.0 was to appoint a trust and safety team. I'll join only if and when I feel safe." Yeah, actually, we've reached out to Google and Twitter and to ask for recommendations for highly qualified and experienced trust and safety people. Because, obviously the most important thing about any social media is knowing who to kick off it. And so we're going to look into that, of course. Thank you. What what made Social Galactic 1.0 go down the last time? Our technology partner is a interesting, talented, and unique individual, but it became clear very rapidly after launch that we had some fundamental personal incompatibilities. And so he had some expectations, and we there was nothing major. It wasn't like I have nothing but respect for the guy, and I certainly support what he's doing with the Fediverse. But it became clear that you know it was basically at the end of the day there were too many chefs and too many chiefs, not enough Indians, perhaps. And so it was one thing that I've learned over time is that if you have those kind of fundamental incompatibilities early on, it's a good idea to just stop. And so, yeah, we would have been a lot farther along. 1.0 certainly looked prettier than 2.0 does, but they're doing fine. They're doing their own thing, and that's great. We're doing our thing. It took us a while to get caught up, but it's worth it because now we have something that we control. We can do whatever we want, and we don't have to worry about anybody else's vision, anybody else's opinion, that sort of thing. So it's fine. Will there be a personal link limit for Binks regardless of his membership level? Oh yeah, well, well, we'll have to keep Owen away from the moderator status. So, no offense to Vox, but he certainly does help me wind down and eventually snooze. Hey, it's a gift. It's a gift, 2.0 is communication with the community. Exactly. That's what we want. That's the most important thing. I have no interest in talking to SJWs. I have no interest in engaging in bants. I want to be able to communicate effectively with people that I have something in common with people that I like and respect, and that I'm willing to listen to. Hobby Bear says their offensive pushes our hand. Good thing we are not idle in development. 7,000 KV1s are in reserve, ready to be deployed to the front. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they are not used to people who don't roll over and play dead. They're just not accustomed to that. If we're premium members at unauthorized, how can we continue to add financial support to the platform? I don't know. You're already supporting it to the level that we hoped. Will you automatically not allow people on Social Galactic? No, I don't think so. I mean, if people appear and they behave themselves, fine. We don't have an issue with that. We're not afraid of their messages and their attempts to deceive people. But we're not going to let people blaspheme. We're not going to let people swear. We're not going to let people be obnoxious. And so, that's um, that's what we're working on. Any updates on T-shirts for premium members? Did I miss? We're getting them out to. We're going to get them out to the annual members first, and then we need to figure out which premium members we owe them to, because um, I need to look up and see how long we were doing that. But I'll let you know. Um, it's. Uh, I mean, I apologize because we're late on certain things, but you can see why we keep getting slowed down on certain things, because we keep having more pressing priorities to deal with. For example, I would have liked to have gotten all the tour T-shirts out already, and all um, the unauthorized T-shirts out already, but we're a little busy with Patreon, for example. So, um, there's just a lot of just a lot of we have to prioritize every step along the way. And sometimes when something like the Instagram banning happens, it's like, oh, okay, well, um, we need to bump up the social galactic priority, or we need to uh, you know buy some new servers, or something. So it's all just, um, I mean, just so you understand, we are constantly, and when I say we, I do mean we. I mean, there's a whole group of people who are constantly thinking about what to do as we move forward. I would like nothing better than to be able to do nothing but focus on writing a Sea of Skulls and doing Castalia Deluxe and Castalia Library. That's where my passion lies at the moment. That's what I would like to do. But sometimes I have to go, days without spending any time doing what I want to do, because there are more important things that have to be addressed. And so, um, that's what we do. Um, so it's just and that's why I genuinely don't have much interest, if any at all, in the drama with the gammas, with other uh, YouTubers, etc., etc. I don't have the time. I don't have the bandwidth for that. People are like, well, you should debate, this person, and so forth. And well, that's just a waste of time. Also, by the way, I should mention that, speaking of getting stuff out, corporate cancer has been showing up at people's in people's mailboxes, and um, there was one guy who had uh, a some pages that were funky. If that happens, please email me with a picture of it, and uh, we will get them. We'll get them replaced. Um, it's not. We've got a process in place for that. It shouldn't happen. Every now and then it does. I mean, we've seen crazy things. We've actually seen, like, the wrong book uh, inside the correct cover, and you never know. If that happens, then let us know. Um, Good. Sam and Virgil got theirs today. And remember, Quantum Mortis, A Man Disrupted, is the December book. We just got the audiobook uploaded. So if you are subscribed to the replatforming, and I do encourage you to do so, it's literally the best possible deal you can get on ebooks and audiobooks anywhere. Um, those links are probably going to go out tomorrow. I'm planning on working after we're done with the stream here tonight. I'm planning on getting that set up on the store, and the coupons will go out, And remember, you've got to download that month's book by the end of the month. Okay? So if you're a member of the replatforming and you get a coupon for the audiobook, for the ebook, please remember to pick up your book before the end of the month. Now, because maybe I'm not sure we were clear enough on that, last month's book, the November book, Corporate Cancer, you can still, the coupons that you received are still good, and you can still use them to download Corporate Cancer as well. So, just keep paying attention to your email, and you'll get the coupons and so forth. Kyle Max Signori says, should someone with mixed heritage translate their surname to fit in with their home country? Asking mostly due to potential issues one could face in the coming troubles ahead. Overthinking? Well, probably. I mean, your identity is who you are. So, oh, and somebody asked about Owen's app. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I don't think that we are involved with that. Netflix is coming out with a Gay Jesus Christmas special. Why are they obsessed with this kind of blasphemy? Because they worship Satan and they hate Jesus. They hate white, straight people. They hate Western civilization. Not just because of the Christian element, but they hate Greeks, they hate Romans, and they also hate the European nations. So what else would you expect? Don't support it. You know, I would not subscribe to Netflix if I were you. I do not subscribe to Netflix. Let's see. Will you tune in to Dyer and the Kurgan? If I can, if I have time. I'll definitely read the transcript. What do you think is a priority or major change the Catholic Church should make? I think they should get rid of Vatican II. They should reestablish the Roman Inquisition, and they should put the fake Pope and the ex-Pope on trial for heresy. What's the latest on Deluxe Missionaries? It's coming. We are, right now, the designers are working on the gold foil cover and spine. We're working on the interior, and we'll probably place the orders for the interiors next week. So you can... Uh-oh. Pretty sure my book has an error. It says Vox Dei. I'm 99%. It's supposed to be spelled Vox Deu. Exactly. Exactly. The gray man's here. Everybody behave. So I'll pop this up again for those of you who didn't see it before. This is coming. All unauthorized subscribers are going to get free paid memberships. So everybody gets a bronze membership. Premium and annual members get silver memberships, which are good as long as your unauthorized subscription is good. So, no, I'm not going to grow a full beard. I just haven't had, I literally have not had time to take a shower today. It's just been nonstop, boom, 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 since I had to get up earlier than I normally do to do some driving, since one of the dogs had a unexpected vet appointment. They're fine. So I've actually been up and going for 2 hours longer than I normally am at this point. Are you playing soccer through the winter? We used to play a little bit of indoor, but my team stopped doing that a few years ago, and I really don't know why. But no, I'm not. So nothing but the high intensity course once a week. Kevin Crater says, God bless, may peace and truth be upon man. Indeed. That would be nice. But we can't count on it. Vox, have you ever thought of making your own wine? Owen knows why that's funny. Yes. Cowboy Bear said, ha! Just opened the mail to find corporate cancer. See? Castalia delivers. We haven't got that Big Bear comic out yet. What would you recommend a boy at the age of 12 read from Castalia House? Swan Knight Saga by John C. Wright. Also, the Dark Knights event, or the Dark Avengers Sidekick. Those are both good. AJ Rhino Bear says, started attending a church that has never done the Novus Ordo 51 years traditional mass. They would agree 100% with your suggestions. Read the church. Yeah, the real church exists. The real church still exists, but you're not going to find it everywhere. Porter Bear said, who wrote about how to quit Gamma and be Delta? Someone who goes by the pen name Delta Man, and that's all I'm going to divulge. Let's see. You are a cool guy, Vox. It would have really surprised people that I went to junior high school with, that anyone would say that at any time. But yeah, actually, in 10th grade, I finally started to get cool. It was a nice discovery. Yeah, War Dogs is really good too. Maybe a little bit much for a 12-year-old. Yep, yesterday's super chats. I haven't forgotten. Let's get to them now. Well, I'll start with yesterday's, and then we'll cover them all. So, December 3rd. Are they going the other way? Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Okay, so it's always good to we always know to start with M Bolster. So M Bolster did his thing. Thank you. I am Lone Frog. It says, hey Vox, is there something to these politicians parading their dogs? I don't think there's anything suspicious. It's just most Americans either have dogs or like dogs, and they're trying to appeal to dog people. I mean, dog people do tend to think better of dog people than non-dog people. So, Jujul Querbear sends a weirdly specific amount of euros. Thank you. Slamurai Jamdown says, are replays unavailable on DLive? I don't see them. I just turned them on after my last DLive stream. So when I do my next DLive stream, since this dual stream failed, it will be available. Bradley Haas sends $2. Thank you. Andrea says, Vox, thank you for building up our morale. Let's all continue to encourage and not despair. You're welcome. And what she points out is very, very important. Morale is the primary component of victory. Not numbers, not strategic or tactical brilliance, not even logistics, morale. Because when your morale is broken, that's when you're defeated. Now, obviously, these other things are very important, but the focus is always breaking morale. That's what they're trying to do. Why do you think they ganged up on Big Bear and hit him in succession with YouTube and Instagram and so forth? Because they're trying to break his morale. It's not going to happen. And when we defeat them, that is going to not only increase his morale, it's going to increase all of yours. We know that because we've done it repeatedly, again and again and again. When we beat Patreon, and we will, the morale of the bears is going to skyrocket. I can guarantee this. All you have to do is ask the Dread Ilk. They'll tell you, ask the people who were involved in bouncing the rubble. It was great. And by the way, to all of those who were involved, you might want to check everything. Everything finally has now gone out, so it's all good. Don't do that. It doesn't help anyone. It actually harms your fellows, and it actually harms the cause. And I mean literally ecstatic when they heard that Owen had been deplatformed by Patreon. I'll tell you more about that someday, but just trust me on this. Sometimes what's going on behind the scenes is very different than what is going on in public. Karen Took the Kid said, any British politicians that you admire present? I kind of like Jacob Rees-Mogg's style, but he occasionally just says insanely stupid things. Obviously, I admire Nigel Farage for helping free his country from the EU. There's LARPing nationalists who change their tune as soon as they see any sort of success. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, Boris Johnson is not going to be the heroic nationalist that people would like him to be. It's just not going to be that way. Berserker sends $2 for the Gamacide Fund. That's funny. Jack Cool asks, the last time someone stood up to the Prometheans in a hard, overt way, they were not only smashed, but lied about comprehensively. What will be different about the struggle this century? We don't know. We'll wait and find out. If you're, I mean, I'm assuming that you're referring to a certain German political leader. He was insanely stupid. He had them beaten, but like a lot of foolish people do, he was intoxicated by victory and took it too far. Like practically every British cavalry commander in the Peninsular War. It's very common. That's why you need to not get overexcited about victory. Don't be overly depressed about defeat. Don't get overly excited about victory. The Stoics were right. Marriage First says, why do gammas masquerade as sigmas? Annoying. Because they always want high status. And it's easier, because they're not popular, it's easier for them to proclaim sigma status and try to get away with it than it is for them to proclaim alpha status and get away with it. It's also because they don't understand that sigmas get the same quality women that alphas do. So they, I mean, their masquerade is never convincing, but they don't seem to realize that. Californians to Idaho, better put up a toe filter. Exactly. No toe in Idaho. We've been over that. What we were taught is bad, and evil is usually what is effective and intelligent discernment that would prevent violence down the road. Yeah, very often. And what we're told is good, like open immigration, is often what is absolutely going to cause evil and violence and death and destruction in the future. Harrison Parker says, thank you, Vox, for all you do. You're welcome. You're a good example for a youngish man like me. I support on unauthorized. Excellent. Good on you. I'm here for the fight. My prime. So it's up to the next generation. It's an original piece that I had done by a excellent musician that I admire very much. John Doe said, sounds like you need some tea with lemon. I don't drink tea. I'm fine. M. Bolster does his thing again. Thank you. Ben Warren says, the harder they squeeze, the more we crush. Yeah, this is a basic martial arts principle. open and closing windows. When you are in unarmed combat, you can't block everything. And when you strike, you are opening that window. You know, this, the left is the upper left window. When it strikes, what happens? This window is open. So when you anticipate which window the strike is going to come from, the fact of their attacking opens them to your counterattack. And so, we just basically take that core martial arts principle and apply it to the cultural war. We don't go after them. We study them. We look at where their weaknesses are. And then we wait for the attack, which permits us to launch the counterattack. And so, why do you think I said we were ecstatic when Owen got deplatformed by Patreon? We were prepared for it before they did it. Wrath of the Monarch says, don't the cucks deserve a good share of the blame for deplatforming? A fair amount, yeah. Their retreats have trained the SJWs that they can do whatever they want. Well, exactly. And sometimes the cucks are involved. Sometimes the cucks are the one pointing their finger at people like Owen, people like me, in the hopes that they will be eaten last. DA says, finally, a user experience being enhanced that I'm excited about. He's talking about Social Galactic. That's good. Let's see. How do you feel about Gavin McGinnis? Seems to be a nice guy. I've never actually talked to him, and I've never actually watched any of his shows. Remember, I don't watch videos. It's kind of funny. Somebody has recently keeps sending me, well, I really think I know you don't watch videos much, but I really think you're going to be interested in this one. I don't watch any of them. I finally emailed him and said, please stop emailing me videos. I will not watch any of them. So just stop it. It's like, what part of I don't watch videos do you not understand? I'm a reader. I like books. David Lorenzon says, Hungary, Poland, Turkey, Russia, China, etc. are all countries that experience centuries of humiliation. Will the West have to endure a century of humiliation, and when did ours start? I'm Swedish. Well, Sweden's has started. But the entire West may not experience it. Hopefully they will learn from the Swedish example, the US example, etc. Holly Berry says, so much respect and thanks to you and Owen for not spiraling and instead building. You're both inspiring, crushing. Inspiring is exactly what we want you to do. We want you, all the bears, all the Dread Ilk, to do whatever it is that you do that is in line with the good, the beautiful, and the true. For example, Bindery Bear, we're working with him on the deluxe stuff. There's all kinds of possibilities. Could Australia fragment into smaller nations like the US after the fall of the latter? Possibly, but I think it's more likely to become some sort of Chinese dependency. Let's see. Corporate Cancer showed up, and I think we're almost caught up. Well, we were. Nevin says, just upgraded from Feed the Bear to Premium UTV in anticipation of Owen's replatforming. Thank you. That's great. We'll make sure that you're on the list. And if somehow the spreadsheets or databases don't get updated, let me know. Can't wait for the books to start arriving. Excellent. I'm all but praying they're stupid enough to do that to you. Well, I would ideally, it will be after the next big victory, just so that, I prefer not to have more than 3 things at a time. But, if we have to deal with 10 at a time, we'll deal with it. There's plenty of members of the Legal Legion who have nothing to do right now who would love it. Berserker sends $2. Drywall Bear sends 1 vote for Social Galactic. Excellent. The Norseman Wandered sends 5 Canadian. Thank you. And Nick Budd says, is there a different amount of hate from gammas for sigmas compared to alphas? Yes, because sigmas tend to just... Alphas are willing to tolerate them, sigmas aren't. Do gammas target sigmas in the same way they do alphas? No. Gammas always want to be friends with sigmas. They say, like, I'm just like you. We should hang out. Like, if you were just like me, you wouldn't want to hang out. You know, it's crazy, but you know, c'est la vie. Marie Golay sends 20. Thank you. Good to see you. And Mega Bear says, God bless you and your family, Vox. Hope so. Keep crushing. That's what we will attempt to do. So what time is your dev stream? I don't know. I don't, I haven't even, fellow Sigma, let's spend time together. Like, no. So, all right. Well, anyhow, the big thing right now is subscribe to Unauthorized, and if you're interested in the replatforming and you want to get the get the books, this is a good time to do it. So, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for standing by the Big Bear, and we really appreciate the staunch and steady level of your support. So have a good evening.